Welcome back to our channel where today we are diving deep into the world of rare coins and astonishing coin values that are breaking records and leaving collectors speechless. So if you're a numismatic enthusiast or just someone curious about how a seemingly ordinary penny can turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure, then you're in the right place, because in today's video we are exploring the unbelievable story of the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned the entire collecting community. By being valued at a jaw-dropping $56 million due to a remarkable series of errors, minting mistakes, and unusual circumstances that elevate it from being a regular copper-plated zinc coin to one of the most extraordinary finds in the history of US coinage. And as we take this numismatic journey together, we'll break down exactly what makes this particular 1980 penny so immensely valuable, going into every conceivable error, minting anomaly, production misstep, and historic factor that contributes to the staggering value it holds today. Because while many people might overlook a penny lying on the ground or sitting quietly in an old drawer, the 1981-cent coin in question is a true reminder that some coins are worth much more than their face value and can command millions under the right conditions. Starting with the year 1980 itself, which was a transitional time in the minting world, as the US Mint was still producing pennies with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a formula that had been in use since 1962, but would soon be phased out due to rising copper prices. And this shift in material set the stage for confusion and anomalies in the minting process that could lead to coins with mismatched planches, improper alloy compositions, and dramatic weight variations that today's collectors hunt down with obsessive attention. And among the many pennies minted in 1980, there exists this one mysterious example that went unnoticed for decades, before surfacing in a private collection where it was initially thought to be a simple oddity, but upon closer examination it revealed a staggering number of production mistakes that set it apart from every other coin ever produced that year, beginning with a double die obverse that is so dramatic it can be seen without magnification, with Lincoln's profile showing a distinct doubling of his eye, beard, and even the lettering in the word Liberty and the date 1980, all of which appear shadowed and misaligned, a classic case of a hub doubling that occurs when the die receives multiple misaligned impressions from the hub during the creation process. And errors like these are already well known for boosting coin values significantly, especially when they are as pronounced as this example. But what makes this coin even more special is that the reverse also contains a different kind of doubling referred to as a machine doubling or mechanical doubling, which is caused not during the die making process but during the actual striking of the coin, meaning this penny has both a double die obverse and mechanical doubling on the reverse, which is virtually unheard of and increases its value exponentially. But that's just the beginning of the story, because this particular penny also exhibits signs of being struck on the wrong planchet, believed to be intended for a foreign coin or possibly even a transitional alloy test blank, as its weight is slightly lower than the standard 3.11 grams for copper pennies of that era, coming in at around 2.8 grams, which led experts to conclude it may have been mistakenly struck on a planchet reserved for another country's coinage, which sometimes happens when leftover planches from foreign contracts are accidentally fed into the US Mint's machinery. And this type of error is extremely rare and sought after by top collectors who specialize in planchet anomalies. And further increasing the value is the presence of dramatic off-center striking, with this coin being approximately 35% off-center, creating a crescent-shaped gap that exposes the unstruck portion of the blank and distorts the image on both sides in a way that still preserves identifiable features such as the date and Lincoln's bust, which are crucial for attributing the coin. And when a coin features such a strong off-center strike while still maintaining key identifying elements, it becomes a perfect storm for collectors who crave both rarity and visual appeal. And adding to this breathtaking list of mistakes is the presence of multiple die cracks on both the obverse and reverse of the coin, with the most notable running diagonally across Lincoln's forehead down to the rim, which resembles a lightning bolt and has even been given the nickname Zeus crack by some in the coin community. while the reverse contains a die chip lodged within the Lincoln Memorial columns, which gives the illusion of an extra column not originally intended in the design and errors like these are a goldmine for error coin specialists who place high premiums on coins that demonstrate the wear and tear of overused or deteriorating dies. And to top it all off, the coin features an extremely rare BIE error where a small die break appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, creating the illusion of the word BIE. And although BIE errors are relatively common in some years, the location, size, and clarity of this one make it an elite example that would be featured in any advanced error collection. And when you combine all these factors, dramatic double die obverse, mechanical doubling reverse, foreign planchette strike, off-center alignment, die cracks, die chips, BIE error, and reduced weight, you begin to understand why this penny is no ordinary coin but a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly that checks all the boxes for collectors and investors alike. And what's even more astonishing is that this particular 1981 cent coin was discovered in uncirculated condition with full red luster still present, which indicates that it was never used in daily transactions and somehow preserved for over 4 decades without losing its mint brilliance. A factor that alone can double or triple the value of any coin, but especially one with as many compounding errors as this one. And as the coin made its way through various grading and authentication processes, top-tier organizations like PCGS and NGC were brought in to verify its legitimacy, and upon microscopic analysis and XRF scanning they confirmed the alloy composition discrepancy, the strike anomalies, and authenticated all known errors, which cemented this coin's status as an unparalleled specimen in American numismatics. And after several years of private negotiations between elite collectors, museums, and investment firms, the coin eventually went to auction, where intense bidding drove the price higher and higher until it reached an astonishing final price of $56 million, making it not only the most expensive Lincoln cent ever sold, but one of the most expensive coins in the world across all denominations and countries. And experts believe the value could climb even higher in the future as fewer comparable examples are ever found, and demand for dramatic mint errors continues to skyrocket, especially among international buyers who are now entering the rare US coin market with massive budgets. And while it may sound unbelievable that a penny could command such an astronomical price, this coin represents the perfect storm of rarity, condition, error variety, and historical significance, proving that minting mishaps, while accidents by definition, can lead to tremendous value when preserved and understood properly. And this story also serves as a reminder to all of us to look more carefully at our pocket change, because hidden among the ordinary could be an extraordinary treasure just waiting to be discovered. And although only one known example of the $56 million 1980 era penny exists with this exact combination of features, there could be others with similar characteristics still sitting in old coffee cans, estate collections, or inherited jars of coins that have yet to be examined under a magnifying glass. And even if you don't find a multi-million-dollar coin, understanding the world of error coins opens up a fascinating hobby that can pay off in both knowledge and financial reward, especially if you learn to recognize the key signs like doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, and foreign planchette weights. And as the value of copper and rare coins continues to rise, there's never been a better time to become aware of the hidden gems in your own collection. So keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and always remember that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises, just like the 1980 Lincoln 1 cent that defied all odds and became one of the most talked about coins in history, a true legend in the numismatic world. And a testament to the idea that value isn't always about size, but about the incredible story each coin tells through its metal. Next, 1985 1 cent USA coin, where today we are taking an incredible deep dive into the world of rare coins and numismatic treasures that shock even the most experienced collectors. And in this video, we'll be focusing on a truly astonishing example that has captured the imagination of coin enthusiasts, historians, and investors across the globe. the remarkable 1985 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has been valued at an unbelievable $40 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with a face value of merely 1 cent. That's worth more than the combined value of some luxury mansions and supercars. And it all comes down to an astonishing set of errors, mistakes, historical context, and minting anomalies that have elevated this specific coin from ordinary to extraordinary. And as we explore the mystery and magic behind this coin, we'll unravel how a piece of copper-plated zinc struck in 1985 during what was considered a routine minting year ended up becoming one of the most valuable coins in US history. Because while most people would walk past a penny lying on the ground without a second thought, this particular one is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that defies all odds and brings to light the complex and unpredictable nature of coin production and the rare phenomena that sometimes emerge from it. So let's begin by putting the year 1985 into context. During this time, the United States Mint was well into its transition from the traditional copper composition to the modern copper-plated zinc formula that had officially begun in mid-1982 due to the rising cost of copper, which made it economically unfeasible to continue producing solid copper pennies, and by 1985, the Mint had fully adopted the new zinc-based planchets with a thin copper coating. But this change came with its own set of challenges, and one of those challenges resulted in a batch of errors that went unnoticed for years. Specifically, inconsistencies in planchette production, cladding adhesion, and striking precision led to some rare and highly collectible errors that experts continue to study to this day. And among these rare examples is the infamous $40,001,985 penny, an unparalleled specimen of minting misfortune and numismatic marvel that combines nearly every type of mint error into a single coin, beginning with a strikingly dramatic double-die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait appears with unmistakable doubling in his eye, mouth, jawline, and the entire inscription of "In God We Trust," with each letter shadowed and distorted in such a way that it's visible even to the naked eye, a characteristic that immediately caught the attention of error coin specialists who understand just how rare such doubling is, especially in post-1980s coins where tighter mint controls had reduced the frequency of such errors. And then, flipping the coin to the reverse reveals yet another incredible anomaly, a misplaced mint mark, with the D from the Denver Mint not only being punched too low but also being slightly rotated and partially overlapping the lower portion of the Lincoln Memorial design, a clear case of manual mint mark punching error, since in those years mint marks were still hand-punched into the dies, leading to occasional misplacement, especially when done in haste or by an inexperienced operator. But it doesn't stop there, because this particular coin also features an incorrect planchette weight, registering at 3.11 grams instead of the expected 2.5 grams for a zinc coin of that era, which suggests it was struck on a leftover bronze planchette from 1982 or earlier, possibly even a transitional alloy test planchette that was inadvertently mixed into the regular zinc coin production. And this weight anomaly alone would place the coin in a very high-value category, as any post-1982 coin mistakenly struck on a bronze blank is extremely rare and coveted. And still more astonishing is the coin's striking alignment error, as it exhibits a remarkable 40% off-center strike. That leaves much of the design shifted and a significant crescent of the planchette blank, giving it an eye-catching and dramatic appearance that collectors highly prize, especially when the date and key design elements remain visible, which in this case they do, with the date 1985 still fully present. Another detail that adds tremendous value since it allows for complete attribution, and further enhancing its uniqueness is the presence of several die cracks and die chips scattered across both the obverse and reverse, including a long diagonal die crack that runs across Lincoln's forehead like a scar, along with a large die chip nestled within the top right corner of the memorial's pediment, creating a visually dramatic effect that resembles a piece of the building crumbling away. And yet another notable feature is the presence of a rare BIE error where a die break between the letters B and E in Liberty gives the illusion of an additional letter I, a classic error that is widely collected and documented but rarely found in such pristine and exaggerated form. And speaking of condition, this particular coin was discovered in a roll of uncirculated bank-wrapped pennies from a private estate collection where it had remained untouched for decades, preserving its original red luster and maintaining a grade that experts estimate to be at least MS67 road if not higher, a level of preservation that is almost unheard of for a coin with so many dramatic striking anomalies. And when presented to major grading organizations such as PCGS and NGC, the coin underwent extensive analysis including X-ray fluorescence testing, microscopic imaging, and historical verification, all of which confirmed its authenticity, era legitimacy, and metallic composition, leading to its classification as one of the most important mint eras of the 20th century. And as word of this coin spread through the numismatic world, collectors, investors, and even institutions began expressing interest in acquiring it for their collections or exhibits, recognizing that a coin of this nature, combining dramatic errors, transitional anomalies, mistruck features, rare planchette usage, and immaculate preservation, comes along only once in a generation if not once in a lifetime. And after years of private negotiation and valuation, the coin was eventually brought to a major auction where anticipation built to a fever pitch as elite bidders vied for ownership of what was quickly being called the crown jewel of Lincoln cents. And when the final gavel dropped, the winning bid reached a mind-blowing $40 million, setting a new record not only for a Lincoln penny but for any era coin in US history. And while some may scoff at the idea of a 1-cent coin being worth such a sum, those who understand the intricate and unpredictable world of coin minting know that value is driven not just by metal content but by scarcity, uniqueness, condition, and the sheer improbability of all these factors combining in a single specimen. And this 1985 penny is the perfect storm of all those factors, a coin that should never have existed in this form, a beautiful accident preserved against all odds and discovered just in time to change the history of numismatics. And what's perhaps most exciting is that this isn't just a tale for the elite collector because it serves as a reminder to everyone watching that incredible finds are still out there, hiding in plain sight, buried in forgotten change jars, tucked inside old family piggy banks, or sealed within bank-wrapped rolls waiting to be opened by someone with a sharp eye and a little bit of knowledge. And every year new discoveries are made that reshape what we thought we knew about modern coins, whether it's a double die, an off-metal strike, a wrong planchette, or a combination of these errors that transform pocket change into museum-worthy artifacts. And for those who love the thrill of the hunt, the story of the $40,001,985 Lincoln cent is both inspiration and motivation, a call to examine every coin carefully, to learn the signs, to appreciate the art and imperfection of minting, and to never underestimate the hidden value of what appears to be ordinary, because in the world of coins, the extraordinary is often just a scratch, a shift, or a misstrike away. And while the chances of finding a coin exactly like this one are slim, the next great discovery is always just one coin away. So, keep hunting, keep looking, and who knows, maybe the next legendary penny will be the one sitting quietly in your own collection, just waiting to be discovered. Last 1987 1-cent USA coin. Where today we take an incredible journey into the world of numismatic marvels and dive deep into yet another astounding story of a seemingly ordinary coin that has skyrocketed in value far beyond its face worth due to a remarkable set of minting errors, production flaws, and once-in-a-lifetime anomalies that transformed it into a multi-million-dollar treasure. So if you're someone who's fascinated by coin collecting, hidden gems in your pocket change, or just love hearing stories where the smallest and most overlooked things become the center of global attention, then you're in for a wild and unforgettable ride as we explore the jaw-dropping case of the 1987 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors by being appraised and sold for a staggering $24 million. a penny that most people would have passed by on the sidewalk without a second glance, but which today holds a place among the most valuable coins ever struck by the United States Mint. And to fully understand how this extraordinary valuation came to be, we have to start by looking at the historical context of the 1987 penny itself, which at first glance appears to be just another copper-plated zinc coin from the post-1982 era, when the US Mint officially shifted from using solid bronze blanks to cheaper zinc ones coated in a thin layer of copper in response to soaring copper prices. And while the majority of 1987 cents were struck without any notable issues and continue to circulate today with no special value attached, a very small number of them, including one now famous specimen, managed to escape the rigid quality control systems of the mint, bearing a unique combination of multiple minting errors so rare and unusual that the coin has become something of a holy grail in numismatics, beginning with one of the most sought-after errors in coin collecting, the double die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait and the surrounding inscriptions show significant, unmistakable doubling caused by a misalignment during the die creation process when the working die received multiple impressions from the hub that were slightly off register. And this doubling in the 1987 penny is so dramatic that the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1987, appear almost shadowed or echoed, clearly visible without magnification and easily distinguishable from other minor varieties. And what makes this doubling even more fascinating is the fact that the reverse of the coin also displays subtle mechanical doubling, caused during the actual striking process when loose or worn dies shifted upon impact, resulting in minor but distinctive distortions in the Lincoln Memorial design, particularly around the columns and the inscriptions such as United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. And the presence of both hub doubling and mechanical doubling on the same coin is highly unusual and incredibly rare, increasing its value tremendously. But the story doesn't stop there, because this particular penny was also struck on the wrong planchette, a transitional bronze planchette left over from early 1982 or mistakenly introduced from a foreign coin contract, as the coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams for zinc cents post-1982, and metallurgical testing confirmed that this specimen contains a predominantly copper composition with trace elements consistent with older blanks, meaning this coin was an accidental survivor of a phased-out alloy, making it a transitional error of the highest order. And coins struck on wrong or leftover planches are always highly prized by collectors because they represent a tangible link between two different eras of minting history, and when paired with dramatic doubling and pristine condition, the value goes through the roof. And even more incredible is the coin's off-center strike, which is measured at approximately 25%, resulting in an obvious shift of the design to one side with a crescent-shaped blank area where the die failed to strike the planchette, yet still retaining enough of the design, including the full date and mint mark, to make it fully attributable and highly collectible. And off-center strikes that preserve essential identifying features are always in high demand, and when such an error appears in conjunction with other anomalies, it multiplies the rarity exponentially. And as if all this wasn't enough, the coin also features several prominent die cracks, die chips, and even a retained cud error, with one massive die crack running from Lincoln's shoulder to the rim, resembling a lightning bolt across the obverse, while a retained cud on the reverse near the top right of the memorial appears as a large raised blob of metal where a piece of the die had broken away but not completely fallen off, causing the coin to be struck with a distorted chunk in the design. And these die state errors tell the story of a failing die that was somehow allowed to continue striking coins long past its usable life, adding historical and diagnostic intrigue for specialists who study the deterioration of minting equipment and how it affects coin production. And further examination of the coin under high magnification revealed microlamination peels on the obverse surface near Lincoln's jawline and neck, tiny slivers of metal that lifted during the strike due to improper bonding of the copper coating to the zinc core, suggesting that the coin was not only struck on a wrong planchette but also under suboptimal conditions that contributed to even more irregularities. And despite all of these physical deformities and production errors, the coin was found in an astonishingly well-preserved state, graded by PCGS as MS67 Plus Red, with full original luster, minimal contact marks, and rich copper coloring that indicates it was never circulated and likely came directly from a mint-sealed roll or original bank bag, and the coin's discovery story is equally captivating. It was unearthed in 2023 by an amateur collector in Ohio who had purchased an unsearched box of old penny rolls from a rural estate auction, and while going through the rolls one evening using only a simple desk lamp and a jeweller's loupe, the collector noticed something strange about one of the coins. It looked thicker, had a slightly off-red tone compared to the rest, and had strange doubling on the date, and suspecting something unusual, he took high-resolution photographs and posted them to a well-known coin forum where professional numismatists and error coin specialists immediately confirmed that he had found something extremely rare, sparking a wave of excitement in the community as experts began weighing in with theories about the coin's origin, minting conditions, and potential value. And within weeks the coin was sent to be graded and authenticated, and soon after, collectors from around the world began expressing interest in acquiring what was now being called the Crown Cent of 87, a nickname given by collectors to emphasize the magnitude of the find. And as demand grew and speculation about its worth spread through collecting networks and international investment groups, the coin was eventually consigned to a prestigious rare coin auction where aggressive bidding from private collectors, museums, and hedge fund-backed investment pools drove the final hammer price to an unbelievable $24 million, and since the sale, the coin has been the subject of articles, documentaries, numismatic journals, and even academic research papers analyzing the unlikely series of mistakes that led to its creation. And the impact it has had on the hobby is enormous, reigniting interest in error coin hunting and leading to a surge in submissions of 1987 pennies to grading companies by hopeful collectors seeking another lightning-in-a-bottle moment. And although the chances of finding another exact match are slim due to the unique convergence of so many rare errors, the story has inspired countless people to take a second look at their coins, proving once again that numismatics is not just about old money but about history, discovery, and the hidden value that can lie in the most unexpected places. And this tale of the $24 million penny serves as a testament to the idea that in coin collecting, anything is possible. And every coin tells a story, sometimes a story of routine minting and daily commerce, and sometimes, as in this case, a story of astonishing mistakes, improbable survival, and staggering value. And for those watching who are just beginning their journey into the world of coins, let this be your motivation to examine every coin closely, to learn the signs of doubling, planchette errors, die damage, off-center strikes, transitional compositions, and surface anomalies, because while most coins will never reach such stratospheric value,